the time, that's what 300 teams, when they start the season, they want to get to, and we're one of the 64 that is fortunate to be here. I think it's my 6th time here being in Tallahassee. We're going to call this my second home. So, although my second home hasn't been very friendly to me in the past. But we've had a great season. Very proud of the players, what they have done, what we have accomplished as a team. 38 victories. It's a record for Alabama State University, 24-0 in conference play. Don't ask me how we got there, but we did. Very proud of the players, the efforts that they showed throughout the whole entire season. But what's really awkward about the season is we're very young. Position player-wise, we're very young. We started one senior, and you'll see that this weekend. We're very experienced on the mound. We have players that have been with us for 3 or 4 years, and maybe that's the leadership that has shown throughout the whole entire season. But we really set the tone with young players. Up the middle, we have freshmen. We have a freshman that we're going to start tomorrow in right field. We have a freshman as a DH. We have 2 sophomores that will start throughout this weekend as well. So very proud of what they have accomplished as a young team, and we've had different players to step up. If you ask me who the MVP, I would give you 9, 10, 11 different names, because I think that this is, being a team sport, a lot of players at different times step up and become our MVPs throughout the season. So once again, really excited to be back in Tallahassee. Didn't think that we were going to get there to Tallahassee, get here. Thought we were going to be somewhere else. 5 years ago, I took the job at Alabama State, thinking that I was going to get away from Tallahassee in Florida and regionals in Florida, and here I am back in Tallahassee. You figure it out. And but of course, this is where we want to be. We want to be in the regional. We want to be in an NCAA tournament. We want to be here. Of course, we want to compete. We want to, just like any other coach will tell you here, we want to win. And that's these guys are hungry. In between the line is where the games are decided. Not on paper. We've done very well throughout the season, so has every other team in here. So whoever is the strongest mentally and physically this weekend is the one that's going to come out on top. So our guys are ready. Our coaches are ready. No, it will not be fun. If you think that the game of baseball and the coaching side of it is fun, you're absolutely mistaken. So a lot of pressure situations, a lot of stress, and we manage it pretty well. As you see in the camera, sometimes we're cool, calm, and collected, but not inside.
Any questions for 24, please?
Now I feel like I'm too.
Coach, it seems like in college baseball there's maybe more parity than ever. Can you speak to that? Have you noticed that? Why do you think that is? That even schools, not necessarily the biggest universities, are competing with everyone?
Absolutely, I think you're exactly right. Here's the fun part about baseball is that you're as good as your starting pitcher at times. So if you have a starting pitcher that has done well, that is kind of dominant at times, you're going to end up doing well. The team will rally behind those guys. Oftentimes you see a team that plays better under a very good pitcher that pounds the zone, that works kind of fast, that throws strikes and gets the team involved. So I think because of it, you'll see that more. But we're also talking about 11.7 scholarship. It doesn't spread out too much, and so we are able to get some of the players that may be able to play at the bigger places that end up coming to our place because maybe they have a little bit better offer, or maybe they have a chance to play right away as freshmen.
Anybody else?
Coach, are you guys going tomorrow night on the mound?
Yes, we do. You asked me if we knew, right?
I asked you who you guys starting tomorrow on the mound.
Camacho. Joe Camacho.
Have you gotten to see much of Florida State and offensively, and what are your thoughts on that?
We have some. I mean, we have seen him. Of course, ESPN does a great job nowadays televising a lot of games. Of course, they're a typical well-coached team, regardless of the players. And this is what I think we all need to understand when it comes down to NCAA tournament. It's not only players, but the coaching staff does a good job. And there's a pattern. There's a pattern that every coach, goes by, and they don't waver on the way that they coach a game. And it's much like you study kind of the pattern, you study the person that is coaching the team rather than the actual team. A lot of teams are going to have different pieces, and They're gonna have their superstar that have done well throughout the season. They're gonna have their pitching and their bullpen is gonna be good. But nevertheless, I think you said on the way that the game is coached and is played, and you can't say enough about what Mike Martin has done here at Florida State and the tradition, and we know what we're against. We're against, one of the best in the business. We're against an icon that has done it and has done it for a long time. Some of us may want to get there one day, probably will never get there, but what he has done and what he's been able to do here at Florida State has been remarkable. So the task at hand for us is monumental, but like I said, I think that the games are won behind, between the lines, and our team will be ready to go.
You mentioned your starting pitchers. For those of us who haven't got to see some of those guys, what do you like about them, and what have they done to kind of help you get to this point?
Our pitchers, one, they throw strikes, which is the big part about pitching. You can't leave the defense out there for too long, so they get back on the heels. But Joe Camacho and Tyler Howe and McIntosh, totally different pitchers. Joe Camacho is kind of low 3/4 guy that pounds his zone a little bit. He's got a 2 or 3 pitch mix at times. Of course, it all depends on the day, as we know what a pitcher can do. And Tyler Howe has, if we go based on our second pitcher, Tyler Howe has done extremely well, only because he's gotten in shape. He's done a good job, but he can throw any pitch at any given time, and I think that's what makes pitchers that tough. You talk to any of the coaches, if you can mix up and you can keep the hitters at bay and you can keep them kind of guessing, not sitting on one pitch, you're going to be successful. And I think our guys, because they're mature, they're able to recognize that. They don't just throw a fastball right in the middle, see what happens, so the guy can hit it a mile long, and they can pitch a little bit. They may not be the 95 that Florida State is going to have. All those guys that of course they're going to throw tomorrow, right, Coach? But we can pitch a little bit, and it's just staying in the game. You got to stay in the game, and you're one loop hit away from winning the ballgame.
Coach, I know you guys are probably just focused on Florida State right now, but you're guaranteed to play at least 2 teams in this bracket. What have you seen from Southern Miss, and what do you know about them in that potential matchup?
Well, I'll be honest with you. What we know is what we have heard and what we have studied. As far as watching them and seeing them play, we don't know a whole lot. But here's an interesting story. Halfway through the season, we're playing teams that have played Southern Miss, and they've come. And I had one instance that I shook hands with a head coach, and we went over the ground rules, and all they wanted to talk about how good Southern Miss was. So I experienced that halfway through the season, not knowing the year that they were having. Of course, after that, you kind of study, you go back to the office and said, oh, wow, must be having a good season. But halfway through the year, we found out that they were actually a very good team, and one coach in particular said that probably the best team that they played all year.
Any more questions? Next 24.
Yep.